Hey everybody, I wanted to make sure you got to see the cover of this book right at the beginning of the video because this week's tech tip actually comes from Jo Boaler, who is a mathematician from Stanford, and she's published this series of books. She has a website and she really focuses on building students' mindset around taking risks in math. And I actually think there's a lot of great crossover between that idea and the idea of taking risks for students in the digital environment that we're in right now, and especially around turning videos on. It can feel very vulnerable for our students and produce a lot of anxiety for them to turn their videos on if they're not in a space that they feel they trust the students around them to do that type of sharing of themselves and of their home environment. And so I have created a template for you that you could use based on an activity that Jo shares in her book, which is what she shares at the beginning of every single one of her books about how to create some norms and give students almost 100% ownership over those norms when you are starting to work collaboratively around math, but we're going to take it and apply it into working collaboratively in a digital environment. So I've created this as a collaborative document in Google Docs. You could, depending on the age level and experience of your students, you could use this or not. It's just an example, but you could use it and share it out to groups to create their own and collaborate together in typing into, or you could just pull it up and share your screen in your class meeting to type in your students' responses. I actually used this exact template last year in my classroom, and I printed it. We worked on it together on the Promethean, and then I printed it off and had one at each table, and we reviewed it at the beginning of every day when we were working through the class. So for this, you can see the frame here that I framed it around working together during Google Meet. And then there's a set of a discussion kind of guide around what do I like or don't like as far as how people treat me when my video is on. And it goes with the students and the teacher, so we're all in this together, right? And then when my video is off, what do I like or don't like for the students or the teacher to treat me like at that time? And then once you've had those two discussions about how you like to be treated as a person, then I think you could come and have this conversation about, okay, so now we know how we want to treat each other. When are the most appropriate times that we want to encourage our videos to be on or encourage our videos to be off? And again, it goes with the students and the teacher because we are all in this together. As far as how to navigate the process of teaching this, I would encourage you to give students time in each section. You might break this up over several days, but you can give them time in each section to brainstorm. Either, write individually, reflect, write, and then discuss, or type in the chat. You could send them out to breakout rooms if you have a chance, or you could even, if you're in elementary, do it in your small group times potentially, so that you have a chance to break it down with a smaller group and have those conversations, really authentic conversations. One thing that I would say is try to be as authentic to the students, what the students are telling you as you can. But if they say something in a negative way, like for example, the example in here is, I don't like waiting for slow people. That doesn't really apply to this one, but you could reframe it and say, I like it when people are ready and prepared on time. So you can help them reframe things positively. But other than that, try to keep it to the language that they use so that they can really feel that ownership and that authentic voice. And I will just say, I haven't done this around the video norm, but when I did this in my classroom around math, I was blown away. It was probably one of the most in-depth conversations and most authentic and vulnerable conversations my class had the whole year. I did it with students from kindergarten through 5th grade. And I bring tears to my eyes even now just thinking about it. And I think your students will really impress you. And it also really dramatically put a shift on the way my students reacted and responded and engaged in the learning going forward from there. And that's what Jo says in this book, that's what happens. And it definitely happened in my classroom. And I'd be really excited to hear how it goes in yours if you try it.